Hey everybody, today we're going to be going over the Hollywood Rack's Destination 2 bike rack here on a 2022 GMC Terrain. So here is what our bike rack is going to look like on our vehicle with one bike attached. Now the backup camera is probably not going to be very useful when you have two bikes on there, but that's to be expected with pretty much any bike rack on the back of this vehicle. Now in regards to your rear view glass here, the handlebars are probably going to stick up a little bit, but you're still going to have some decent visibility, and you obviously still have your mirrors to use on the side as well. So you're not really foregoing any safety here. You're just going to be foregoing some of the convenience features such as your rear view camera. So there's two main types of bike racks. We have the hanging style, and we have the platform style. Now the hanging style are usually a little bit more cost effective, but they're harder to get your bikes on and off of. With the platform style here, they're a little bit easier to get your bikes on and off of because you don't have to lift them as high. With the hanging style there, you have to lift it all the way up and over, whereas the platform style, you just have to get it above this little platform here. So this one in particular actually kind of breaks some of the stereotypes of platform style racks, and for two reasons. Number one, it is very lightweight. You can easily pick this thing up with one arm. And number two, it's very cost effective. So this is a great, very popular platform style bike rack because it checks all the boxes for a lot of people. Now there is one thing it doesn't do well, and it's not gonna work with your heavy bikes. If you have anything over 35 pounds, you'll have to look at another rack. But for everything else and in between, this is gonna be a great option for you. So there's actually a lot of adjustability here with the center mass because this is gonna work great with bikes that have those alternate frame shapes, such as the ones with the deep drop tube there. This thing can actually rotate back and forth, can tilt back and forth, and we can even pivot our little attachment here. So this here is gonna make it widely compatible with all different types of bike frames and shapes. And when we've arrived at the trails, it is very easy to remove our bikes. We're just gonna simply release the straps here from either wheel tray. Go ahead and set that to the side there. We have one in the front, we also have one in the rear. And then once we get those both out, we just have the center attachment here. Let's go ahead again, just press that button. And it's a good idea to have a hold of your bike here because once we release this, it is going to fall. But now we can go ahead and just lift our bike up and off. So now that we have our bike off, we can sort of give you a closer look at all the attachment mechanism. Number one, we mentioned this being able to tilt side to side there. We can also adjust the height of these little clamps here, and you can see they rotate as well. And then on all of our straps here, they have a nice little rubber pad here, so you're not going to damage the frame or your wheels. But when we're ready to store the rack, we're just going to tilt this down to the side here. And then I actually like to use some of these straps here that are built in to sort of secure it to itself. So if you're curious about how much length you're adding to your vehicle with this bike rack installed and folded down, we can go ahead and give you that measurement there. Whether you park in a tight parking space such as a garage or for any other reason, go ahead and measure from the back of the bumper to the outwardmost point. You're looking at about 22 inches. But something great about this rack is that we can actually fold it against the vehicle for a much more compact storage, whether we're storing it in the garage or we're just simply leaving it on the vehicle when we're not using it. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a pin we're going to pull out here. Then we're going to loosen that thumb screw. We should be able to remove this. It's on a tether, so you don't have to worry about losing it. And then we're just going to tilt it up. And we will re-secure it once we align our hole. Go ahead and tighten this back down. And reinstall your pin. And now that we have it in this position here, we'll go ahead and give you one more measurement. So to the back part of the bumper, or to the hatch rather, to the bottom part of the shank, you're looking at about 11 inches. So in regards to weight capacity, as we mentioned earlier, this bike rack doesn't have a super high weight capacity. It's only going to be 35 pounds, but this is overall a pretty lightweight platform style rack. So unfortunately, 35 pounds is our hard number here, no matter if we're just carrying one bike, so you will need to abide by that. But there's plenty of other options if you have heavier bikes. So if we take a closer look at our actual connection to the trailer hitch, a couple things I want to point out. Number one, this bike rack does utilize a 1 1/4 inch to 2 inch adapter, so no matter which size we have on our vehicle, or if we have multiple vehicles with different size hitches, you're going to be covered here. It also utilizes an anti-rattle bolt, and basically this is just like a regular bolt that threads in, and that's going to further secure the shank of the bike rack inside the receiver tube to cut down on movement. If I go ahead and just shake the rack here, you can see there's pretty much no movement inside the receiver tube. Therefore, that's going to keep your rack nice and still, and it's also going to keep your bikes nice and protected on the rack. And then last but not least, we do have a lock core on the other side of that hitch pin, which is going to prevent anyone from coming up and stealing your bikes and rack from the vehicle. So in summary, this is really a great entry-level bike rack, especially into the platform style. It's super lightweight, so we can easily take it on and off the vehicle. It has some great built-in features like some of the other premium racks, such as the anti-rattle hitch bolt and the lock core. So again, overall, you really can't go wrong with this bike rack. I know you guys are gonna love it. And that's gonna do it today for our look at the Hollywood Racks Destination 2 bike rack here on our 2022 GMC Terrain.